Welcome to Relaxed Reddit Readings. Today we have 4 Reddit stories for you. Reddit stories that made me question family drama. Story 1. I told my family I'm tired of parenting them at 17. So I just told my entire family that I'm tired of parenting them, and now everyone's calling me ungrateful. I'm 17 years old. When my mom was diagnosed with cancer, everything changed overnight. She was constantly at the hospital with emergencies, especially during school hours, which meant I suddenly became the parent to everyone else. I was cooking 3 meals a day, cleaning the entire house, doing laundry, and somehow keeping up with school and my after-school activities. But that wasn't even the worst part. So many traumatic things started happening at home that I had to step up and protect my younger siblings. I basically grew up in like 3 months. My siblings started coming to me for everything instead of our parents. Homework help, emotional support, settling fights, making decisions about their lives. My dad was so overwhelmed with mom's treatment that he just checked out emotionally. Meanwhile, I'm trying to hold everyone together while being a teenager myself. The breaking point came last week when my aunt told me I needed to be more grateful for everything my parents have done for me. She said I was being selfish by wanting to go to my friend's birthday party instead of staying home to watch my siblings. That's when I snapped. I told her and everyone else in the room that I'm tired of being the parent in this family when I'm literally still a child myself. I said I never asked for this responsibility and that I deserve to have a teenage life too. I told them I'm exhausted from taking care of everyone else's emotional and physical needs while nobody seems to care about mine. My aunt started crying and said I was being cruel during such a difficult time. My dad said I was being dramatic and that families help each other during hard times. But here's the thing, I'm not asking them to stop needing help. I'm asking them to acknowledge that I'm 17 and I can't be everyone's emotional support system and house manager forever. My mom's treatment is going well, thank God, but even she seems to expect me to just continue handling everything like it's my job now. I love my family, I really do, but I feel like I lost my entire teenage years overnight. When I see my friends worried about normal teenager stuff, I feel jealous because I'm over here managing a household and being a therapist to my siblings. Some relatives are saying I'm being selfish during a family crisis, but others are saying I have a point. Am I really being ungrateful here, or do I have the right to want my childhood back? If you're enjoying these stories, hit that like button and let me know in the comments which story you relate to the most. Story 2. My boyfriend's friend almost got me killed over car repairs. So my boyfriend almost got me killed because he wanted to save money on car repairs. I'm 26 and in university in the UK, and I drive this old car that gets me to campus and work. It's nothing fancy, but it does the job. 2 weeks ago, my car started making this horrible screeching noise every time I hit the brakes. Like, seriously horrible. The kind of sound that makes everyone on the street turn around and stare. I immediately knew something was wrong and wanted to take it to a mechanic, but my boyfriend said his mate works on cars and would look at it for way cheaper, maybe even free. Since money's tight with me only working part-time because of university, I figured I'd wait a few days. That was my first mistake. Over the next 2 weeks, the noise got progressively worse. I'm talking metal on metal grinding sounds that made my teeth hurt. But every time I brought it up, my boyfriend would say his mate was just busy but would definitely look at it soon. Meanwhile, I'm driving this death trap to work and school every day, praying I don't rear-end someone because my brakes might not work. By the end of week 2, I was genuinely scared to drive the car. The screeching was constant, and I had to press the brake pedal way harder to get the car to stop. That's when I said forget this, and booked an appointment with a proper mechanic. The mechanic took one look at my brakes and his face went completely white. He told me my brake pads were completely gone, like worn down to nothing, and I was basically braking with bare metal. He said I was maybe days away from complete brake failure, which could have killed me or someone else. The repair cost me £300, which hurt my student budget, but you know what? I'm alive. When I told my boyfriend what the mechanic said, instead of being concerned about my safety, he got mad at me for not trusting his mate. He said I wasted money and embarrassed him by going to someone else. He kept saying his friend really does know about cars and would have fixed it properly. I pointed out that his friend had 2 weeks to even look at the car and never did, while I was driving around with essentially no brakes. But apparently I'm the bad guy for not wanting to die in a car accident. His mate finally texted back 3 days later saying he could look at it next week. Next week. After I nearly died multiple times driving to work. My boyfriend is still giving me the cold shoulder and saying I don't trust his judgment. But honestly, his judgment nearly got me killed. Am I wrong for choosing my safety over saving a few pounds? Story 3. My sweet neighbor turned into my worst nightmare. So my sweet neighbor has turned into my absolute worst nightmare, and I feel terrible about it. I moved into a new house in August, and my mom became friends with the neighbors across the street. They seem like really nice people, and they have this nephew who's around my age living with them. In October, we had a barbecue and invited them over. I ended up talking with the nephew, and he seemed like a genuinely sweet guy. I could tell he didn't really have any friends since he was new to the neighborhood, and honestly, neither do I, so I thought maybe we could be friends. I decided to invite him out to eat at a food truck festival thing. We had a decent time, nothing amazing, but it was fine. We exchanged numbers and started texting a bit. At first, it was normal conversation, but then things started getting weird. He began texting me constantly. And I mean constantly. Good morning texts, good afternoon texts, good evening texts, random updates about what he had for lunch, pictures of his cat, memes that weren't even funny. It was like he thought we were best friends after hanging out once. Then he started showing up at my house unannounced. He'd just knock on the door and ask if I wanted to hang out. Sometimes I'd say yes because I felt bad, but other times I'd make excuses because I was busy or just wanted alone time. But he didn't seem to get the hint. The worst part is that he's actually a really nice person. He's never been rude or inappropriate, he's always polite to my family, and I can tell he genuinely thinks we're close friends. But his constant presence is suffocating me. I started dreading hearing my phone buzz because I knew it was probably him. I'd see him walking up to my front door and hide in my room pretending I wasn't home. Last week, he texted me asking if I wanted to go to some concert with him next month. Not like a date, just as friends, but it would be a whole evening together, and honestly, the thought of spending that much time with him made me feel anxious. I made up an excuse about being busy, but he immediately suggested 3 other dates that might work better. He's not getting that I don't want to go at all. The thing is, I don't think he has many social connections, and I'm probably one of the few people who's shown him any kindness since he moved here. I feel like such a horrible person for being annoyed with him when he's never actually done anything wrong. He's just lonely and thinks we're closer than we actually are. But I can't handle the constant texting and surprise visits anymore. It's gotten to the point where I avoid going outside because I don't want to run into him and have to make small talk. My mom keeps saying how sweet he is and how nice it is that I have a friend in the neighborhood, which makes me feel even worse about the whole situation. I've been thinking about having a conversation with him about boundaries, but I'm worried it'll hurt his feelings or make things awkward since we're neighbors. Plus, he really is a good person who's just lonely. Am I being a terrible person for finding his friendship suffocating? Story 4. I took my car back from my mom after she broke her promise. So I just took my car back from my mom after giving her 15 months to save for her own, and now my entire family is calling me heartless. My mom has been using my car since mid-2023. Her old car was literally falling apart and dangerous to drive, so I offered to let her use mine with one condition: she had to make the monthly payments while I continued covering the insurance. For the first few months, everything was fine. She made the full $450 payment on time, and I thought we had a good arrangement going. But then things started falling apart. She began making partial payments, sometimes $300 out of the $450, sometimes as low as $250. I was not working at the time because I had just had a baby, and my husband was our only source of income. We were already struggling financially, so when she couldn't make the full payment, it was coming out of our grocery money or our rent money. I had multiple conversations with her about this. I explained that I couldn't afford to subsidize her car payments when we could barely cover our own expenses with a new baby. She always promised to do better, but the next month would be the same story. Different excuse, partial payment. Meanwhile, I found out she was spending money on things like getting her nails done, buying expensive coffee, going out to eat with friends. But somehow, she couldn't prioritize the car payment that was keeping her mobile. The breaking point came when I realized she had been using my car for over a year and had made zero effort to save for her own vehicle. Every time I brought up her getting her own car, she'd say she was looking or that she was saving up, but there was never any actual progress. She had 15 months to figure out her transportation situation, and instead, she just got comfortable using mine while making me cover the difference in payments. Last month, I told her she had 30 days to either start making the full payments consistently or give me the car back. I wasn't being mean about it, I was just being realistic about our financial situation. She promised things would change, but then the next payment was $300 again. So I went to her house and took my car back. Now my mom is telling everyone that I abandoned her and left her with no way to get to work. My siblings are calling me selfish and saying I should have been more patient. My aunt said I'm punishing my mom for being poor, which honestly made me furious because this isn't about her being poor, it's about her not keeping her word. The thing is, I gave her over a year to figure this out. I didn't just spring this on her out of nowhere. And it's not like I was asking her to pay for the insurance or maintenance, just the monthly payment that she agreed to handle. She could have bought a used car with the money she spent on entertainment over the past 15 months. My husband supports my decision, but everyone else in my family is making me feel like the villain. They keep saying family should help each other, but what about my family? What about my baby who needs formula and diapers? Why is it okay for me to struggle financially so my mom can have convenient transportation? Am I really being unreasonable here, or should family agreements actually mean something? If you enjoyed these stories, drop a comment telling me which one was your favorite. And if you want more relaxed Reddit readings, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, like, comment and subscribe for more relaxed Reddit readings.